went to Springmaid Beach, and excuse me, something interrupted me there. But we would usually go, and my mother taught me how to find shark's teeth at a very young age, probably in the early 70s.
Wow.
And from that point on, and the movie Jaws, of course, from those two things, that just sparked my fascination with sharks. And from that point on, I've been collecting information, attack cases since the early 80s. And
wow.
then in 2004, I was able to get involved with the Global Shark Attack File, which is housed by the Shark Research Institute. Marie Levine, the executive director of the Institute, asked me if I would be willing to be an investigator with them wow. for North and South Carolina, because I'd been contributing bite cases that they weren't aware of for a little while. And so went through that process to get approved to be an investigator with the Institute. And I've been doing that since 2004. And that led to the publication of the book you see there.
Wow. 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 Now kind of, let's kind of streamline from there. Being a investigator, I'm sure you see a lot, you have to interview a lot. We'll get into that, but is it a daily, all day thing? I mean, I know bites are not really happening every day, but are you busy doing that work every day?
No, the bite investigation is usually during the summer parts of the year. Now, I am busy looking for historical cases to contribute to the file, and I have people coming up. Recently, I had a gentleman show me a picture of a surfboard that looks like it was potentially bitten by a shark. I'm going to interview him hopefully next week to wow. confirm that. But things like that do pop up. So
wow.
It's an ongoing contribution to the file, I would say.
Wow.
Yes, for searching for historical cases and conducting. I'm actually working on a project now that hopefully is going to be another book in the future awesome. On behavior, bull shark behavior.
Oh, awesome.
Anyway,
awesome. Yeah. Okay, so technology-wise, within the investigation, has it evolved? Has it changed from, let's say, the 90s or so, or early 2000s, till being in 2022?
It's changed considerably. Even with the International Shark Attack File, if you look back at their history, when that file originated, you know, the best they could do is search newspaper articles and gather what data they could from these incidents to begin the file. Now, as the file grew, it, you know, phone interviews, in-person interviews, but now technology, you know, we're aware of a shark bite sometimes 10 minutes after it happens. If someone has a cell phone on the beach, take a picture or put it on Facebook, you're aware of it, and you can start the investigation pretty quick. And with the use of the internet, communicating through email and things like that is much faster, much more convenient to do a thorough investigation.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. You mentioned Jaws, right? And we kind of spoke a little bit about it before we went live. The 70s, 70, 75 really made America panic, made them the beach goers. Do I go to the beach? Do I get into a boat? Do I even fish? Do I even go to the beach, period? Do I look at the ocean from afar off? How did that, I know you mentioned a lot of this in your book, but how did this really affect globally the panic of water? How did it affect the should I say, the best word to put it is from a person point of view and from a shark point of view, right? Because we know when people get afraid, they want to kill something, they want to get rid of it, right? So how did it first affect a global pandemic of, oh my gosh, what do we do?
Well, Jaws started a wildfire in a negative way for sharks, unfortunately. Now, I love the movie. I mean, that's one of the things that sparked my interest. I actually saw the movie in 1975 when I was 5 years old. And I wasn't scared of it. I was fascinated with it. But anyway, yeah, Jaws had a negative impact and instilled in the minds of many people, the only good shark is a dead shark. So you see shark clubs popping up everywhere looking to hunt for sharks. Sharks became the focus of fishing for quite a few years after Jaws. And some of the populations of our animals depleted quite a bit from that.
Wow.
I remember back in the 70s seeing fishermen catch small, harmless sharks like sharp noses and bonnet heads, and they would just bash their heads on the pier, or they would throw the live carcass on the live shark on the pier to let it rot in the sun. And when I could, I would grab those animals and put them back in the water. But I have seen a trend. You know, I don't see that anymore. I see people through education, such as the book that I've written and other books, people are learning that gladly that sharks aren't quite the monsters that they are portrayed to be. But yet in the minds of millions now, that stigma is still there. So
wow.
It's an ongoing thing.
Wow. And you know, you mentioned the decline in sharks, and I can imagine, right? People paying people to catch the biggest, to blow up the biggest one, or do what they saw on Jaws, unfortunately. And like you said, it was one of my all-time favorite movies as well. But every time, each year, it's still probably one of the most aired around certain times of the year. Start Shark Week and so on. But we know that every single time we see the movie, you'll hear someone, even to this day, oh man, that's a huge shark, need a bigger boat, right? And it's like, at the end of the day, these sharks were in their backyard, right? We're in their domain. We're in what they've known their whole life. Like you said, they don't know what a person is. They don't know what a human is, you know, and when we're on a boogie board, let's transition into that and then we'll get into a lot. But when we're on a board or when we're in the ocean, when we're, what would you have to say, up to knee deep, is most of the, from knee to what, knee to waist, most attacks?
Knee to waist, that's right. Knee to waist is the majority of the cases we see. I want to say one more thing about Jaws before we proceed. Jaws also triggered a positive impact on the public. Look at the interest you and I have, and look what we're doing. Look at the book that evolved from the movie Jaws, from the interest in the movie Jaws. Look at all the researchers and experts that stemmed up, and they contribute one of their main interests to the subject from the movie Jaws. So Jaws is a two-edged sword. But anyway, yeah, bites. The majority of cases that I investigate, I would say, are between knee deep and waist deep water. Some deeper, chest deep. Surfers, of course, will be deeper than that.
And, you know,
but the majority of cases are.
Sure, go ahead.
Go ahead. I was just gonna say the majority of the cases are between waist deep and knee deep water.
You know, I think another thing that we can talk about, because first of all, for the ones that's coming in, this is what his book looks like. All right. So we'll give a second to do this. Awesome. His wife Terry did this amazing. This is actually a real photo that she took. This is actually his Jaws. Dusky, correct?
That's correct.
So, you know, this is an awesome book. It's, to be exact, information wise, it is, let me get past acknowledgments. So you have 154 books besides the acknowledgement, well, pages worth of great information. And when I read the book, I honestly thought about going to the beach. You're looking at the surfers early in the morning, early in the evening. You have the kids out here splashing, swashing, playing, screaming. This is what attracts sharks, whether it's jewelry, correct? And this is what is simulating what, hurt fish miles away?
Possibly. I have to realize whenever we go in the ocean, you've probably been within 100 feet of a shark at any given time when you're in the ocean. Wow. The key is, what is it that we are doing that triggers their interest? So, and with these investigations over the years, we've learned that there are some situations you may want to avoid, like if the water's particularly murky one day. Well, we know that that decreases visibility for you, and that decreases visibility for the animal. So they could bite if you were near one out of defense, not knowing what you are and might be in their way. Or animals like bull sharks, they do like hunting murky water. So that may be more enticing for them to come to the area. Also, there are other triggers to look at when you are deciding if you want to go swimming or maybe not want to go swimming. If you see diving birds, that indicates that there are bait fish in the water. Bait fish obviously are going to attract predators, and predators will attract larger predators. It's a good idea not to swim at dusk or dawn. Studies show that a majority of cases, a good portion of cases, happen in the evening or in the early morning. So those are red flags that if you are concerned about a shark, these would decrease your chances of encountering one, not entering the water under those conditions.
And I think we could say we're not saying not to get into the water. We're saying use caution, And in my younger years, up to my neck, up to my ears, catching the waves and riding the waves in. And now you get older and you kind of realize, like, okay, now maybe I'm ankle deep, maybe I'm looking towards the ocean and not towards, my back is not so much towards the ocean, right? Or so let's kind of go here. What would you say? Sure.
I wanted to say one more thing. Yeah, you are correct. I don't want to instill fear of don't go in the water. Even under these conditions, you're highly likely not to encounter a shark. These are just conditions that would increase your chances of an encounter if you were concerned with that. Yeah, if you look at the statistics, a shark bite is practically insignificant in terms of worry, but there's always that chance. There's always a chance when you enter the water that you could encounter an animal. So, okay.
Awesome. And, we see I kind of, to piggyback off what Clay said, to kind of see like the lonesome, right? And then you see a group of people and you see another person that's 50 yards from it and they're lonesome, right? Then you see another group of people. Is there strength in numbers? Does it kind of minimize if you are in the proximity compared to being by yourself and here's a group?
It definitely is better to be in a group than isolated in the water. Yeah, studies show that when you have those scenarios, the shark would normally target an isolated person. That's not always the case, but that's usually the case. If there was an animal in the area and he was going to bite for one reason or another, the single person in the water versus a group of people would probably be the target.
Awesome. Now, provoked, and the reason why we're going here for the ones that are watching live is, again, we're kind of hitting a few key points from his book. And then we'll kind of go into the teeth. I know everyone wants to see, does he have a collection? Does he? Yes, he does. We'll get into that kind of here in a couple minutes. I want to go into, you mentioned a very good topic, and it was provoked and unprovoked attacks. And I think, we mentioned about the surfers. We mentioned what looks like maybe from their head, like, oh, is that a seal? Is it whatever it is? Is it a fish? What? Now, by the time something is hit, like maybe you think that is a log, right? Or maybe you think it's your boogie board, or maybe it's your surfboard. So oftentimes it's too late, right? What are we doing in the water? What are some mistakes and errors that you continuously see that may be a provoked attack from humans?
Well, let me just say this first. Sharks bite for a number of reasons. A lot of people have a misconception that they're out to look for food. Now, a majority of the cases I would call mistaken identity with these smaller fish like blacktip sharks. In the surf zone, they're looking for fish, and they may mistake your erratic movements or shiny jewelry as the sheen of a fish, and they may strike one time and leave. That would be a case of mistaken identity bites. But there are also investigative bites. A shark's looking at you, putting around in the water, and they're wondering, what is that? So we see a lot of cases where the animal was capable of doing a lot more injury than it did. Instead, it mouths to determine what you are in the water. So we see a lot of cases like that. Also, they may bite out of defense. You may be in the shark's ways trying to get to deeper water, or for some reason he's irritated by your where you are in the water. You've invaded his personal space, and they'll strike out of irritation sometimes or defense. So there's a number of reasons why sharks bite people. We're learning it's a multiple, could be a combination of things. That's why we do these investigations, to try to understand why this person was bitten versus someone else, which contributes to a global pattern. You know, I'm North and South Carolina. The Global Shark Attack File has investigators throughout the world. So when you contribute these cases to the file, you start seeing a global pattern on what may trigger a shark bite. And it's a number of things. It's erratic movements in the water that we're not aware we're doing. Like you said, maybe wearing jewelry, certain colors, uneven tanning, various things could attract the interest to the animal to bite for one reason or another.
Now, do we, I've seen this a whole lot more recently with beached sharks that can be a decent size, 4 foot, 5 foot, 6 foot, as the regular beach pass buyer. Do we attempt to help those sharks that's beached, or do we call, who would someone call?
Well, I can't recommend helping the animal. You know, he may bite you.
Right.
But if you feel comfortable enough to help the animal, I would absolutely hope that they would. Who you could call, you would have to call a local beach patrol. If that particular beach doesn't have a beach patrol, you would have to call law enforcement, tell them we have a stranded animal, and they would send someone. They do that with sea turtles, I know. With shark strandings, I've never seen somebody in my area called to rescue an animal, but I have seen kind beachgoers put the animal back in the water.
Absolutely.
So I don't recommend touching the shark unless you feel very comfortable with helping it. But if you do, bless you for helping the animal.
and be okay with sometimes the consequences too. So
maybe
you know, so let's kind of go here. Let's I know you're into fossils, I know you're into teeth. I know everyone's like, man, all right, enough with this bite. Let's kind of get with the teeth. So let's start here. What is your favorite shark tooth?
That's a tough. Excuse me. What did you say?
Or what species?
Species. I can tell you my favorite species or what are called the big three, which is the white shark, the tiger shark, and the bull shark.
All right.
Those are my favorite animals. Collecting the teeth, those would be three of my favorites as well. Of course, Megalodon is always a prize if you can find a Megalodon tooth on the beach, which we have been fortunate to find some fairly large ones, but nothing that like this one, I would say. And that comes off the shore of Racine Beach. A diver friend of mine found this one. Wow. We don't find those on the beaches yet. They do find them annually.
Wow.
Carolina Beach, Wrightsville Beach. I see photos of teeth that size coming off the beaches, but wow, we haven't found those so far.
That's amazing. And you know, having a group so large, you have the haters, you have the disbelievers, you have that nothing can be found that big. And we're like, due to stuff being pumped up nowadays, due to stuff being unwashed after a big storm, after a hurricane, so on, you do find the 3-inch great whites, or the 5-inch Meggies is what we call them. And with bulls, you can get a decent size of those. Some of the extinct tigers, you know, you can get a pretty good size of those. what are some of your not secrets, but what are some of your tips in finding teeth? What is something that you may do when you're out there and looking for teeth?
I imagine what I do is probably pretty common to anyone that hunts teeth on a regular basis. I like to go 2 hours before low tide to an area I know where there are shell beds that are either being uncovered with the wash in or wash out, or shells washing in. And I like to hunt the wet area. Now, my wife Terry, she likes to hunt the dry shell beds.
Okay.
You were mentioning to me earlier that about digging in the dry sand. She likes to go and look through dry shell beds and dig through those, and she has quite a bit of success doing that. So, but I like to hunt the wash-ins, wash-outs 2 hours before low tide. That's my favorite. Now, if we usually find the bigger teeth in a little bit deeper water, I would say ankle deep, something like that. I usually find the larger teeth that I have in my collection.
Now, I know you have several teeth. If you would like, you can walk through some of the teeth that you have or some of the fossils, vertebrae, whatever you may have. We can kind of go through those if you like.
Let me have the crows. Yeah. I'll show you something recently we've been finding. We've been going to Holden Beach.
Okay.
And they've been having, we've been seeing Cretaceous era shark teeth. So these are crow shark teeth.
Awesome.
From the Cretaceous period. So we've been finding quite a bit of those. Let me see that other one.
And they kind of remind you of like a tiger, the way they're shaped, right?
They do, or a small meg. So we've been finding that is what's called an Enchotus tooth, a spear tooth fish from the Cretaceous period. Find these at Holden. There's a cow shark tooth. I don't know if you can see that.
Maybe pull back some of it. Okay. Oh yeah. Oh wow. That's a very good size.
Yeah, and some sawfish rostrum teeth. I don't know if you can see that with my glare. And drum tooth, and there's a sturgeon scute. So we find all kinds of different fossils. Let me show you one of my favorite finds so far, which was found a couple of weeks ago. This is a mammoth molar section.
Oh, wow.
Either Colombian mammoth or woolly mammoth. I don't know which.
Wow.
That's a section of a mammoth molar that we found at Holden Beach 2 weeks ago. So if you're interested in finding on Cretaceous period, well, this of course is Ice Age material, but there's Cretaceous period to Ice Age material washing in at Holden Beach now. So any of you tooth hunters out there that want to find some interesting things, Holden Beach is the place. There's some croc teeth, possibly mosasaur teeth that we found out there.
Wow.
And here's some horse teeth that we've been finding. I found that all these horse teeth didn't come from Holden. A lot of these came from Wrightsville Beach, Tottsville Beach area, but I did find a couple at Holden as well and have them in the same case together. Some Ice Age horse teeth there.
And if we can pause, I think a lot of us are so focused on the triangular, right? That we miss out on so much. We just either walk over it or we throw it over our shoulder. How does one get to learn about or do you keep, right? And just get it to somebody, the people that's on the beach, they just take it back and then bring it to a platform like yourself and then throw it out if it's not anything?
We just dig in and start studying your passion. You know, if I consider myself an amateur fossil hunter, so I have all the books like probably most people does, and just start learning what to look for. And just like you learn the shape and the color of shark teeth, these other fossils will start popping up as well, because there's plenty out there aside from shark teeth if you're in the right areas. to collect. You know, you were talking stingray barbs and quite a bit of material out there to pick up and learn. Just learn what to look for and keep hunting, and it will show up eventually.
Okay. With that being said, you sent me some other cool stuff, man, and I'm going to show it here. And then we'll get right back to the teeth. Pretty cool, super cool Megalodon, a book placer, a bookmark. And he also was fortunate enough to let me see the North Carolina, the record catches on North and South Carolina. Super cool. Goes to the Dusky Tiger and so on. And this tooth here, I'm assuming that would be yours. Or
this belongs to a friend of ours, Tom, from Topswell, and that's his placard. Tom'sTeeth.com is his website.
Okay, yep.
And we just have some of his placards. Yeah.
Oh, super cool. And I want to kind of super cool sticker I'm going to put on something. And you all, I do want to plug the shop you all have got going on right here. I'm sure it's backwards, but it's at 203 Racine Drive, 102 Wilmington, North Carolina. And I will post this on the video as well. But tell us about that real quick, the gift shop.
I'm going to let my wife tell you about her gift shop, if that's okay with you.
Absolutely. And then we'll get back to talk some teeth or whatever y'all want to talk about here. Plug as much as you like about it. Hey.
So my name is Terry Cresswell. Hey, I'm Clay's wife, and I love hunting shark's teeth as much as he does. And we were blessed to be able to turn our passion into something that we could do that we love together. We started out wrapping a few teeth and making necklaces out of them. And before you knew it, we were making earrings and bracelets out of, I don't know if you can see it or not, but we put shark's teeth and beach glass and sea glass and different things on all kinds of beautiful jewelry. And our shop is located in Blue Moon Gift Shops in Wilmington. And Blue Moon Gift Shop is voted the #1 gift shop in Wilmington. Wow. I have to say, not only our shop in Blue Moon, but there is so much talent in that one place. Wow. So if you have an opportunity, if you're in the area, come tell your friends to come to Blue Moon Gift Shops. Be sure to check out the Shark Shack. We've got all kinds of cool things. If you love sharks, you will love what we have to offer. We not only have jewelry for men and women, but we have clothing. We have, all kinds of different merchandise. We also have a gourmet section called Shark Bites. And in Shark Bites, you'll find local honey from our area and just all kinds of goodies. And we're just so thankful to be able to share our passion with so many people around us. It just thrills us.
That's awesome. And now, what is your hours? Are you open every day of the week or so many hours a week?
Yes. Blue Moon Gift Shop is open Monday through Sunday. 7 days a week. They're open 7 days a week. Monday through Saturday is 10 to 5, 10 to 6. It's 10 to 6. Monday through Saturday is 10 to 6. And then Sunday is 12 to 5. So Sunday hours are a little shorter. That's 12 to 5. But yeah, 7 days a week. And they also deliver. So we don't have a website, but we have a Facebook page for the Shark Shack. If you see anything you like, you can give them a call and they'll ship it to you.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Now, when you are able to do this, what really sparked the idea of being so unique, right? And having quality? Because we see stuff out, but you don't see quality. That looks amazing. So what really strike the passion?
Right. Well, I will say it was a lot of trial and error. Clay and I started doing this last February as far as our business for the Shark Shack goes.
Wow.
And like I said, we were just looking, we were trying to come up with an idea for when we were ready to retire, something we could do together that we loved. And we had so many shark's teeth and beach glass and sea glass, because that's all we do in our spare time is hunt.
Wow.
I said, well, or he said, I'm not sure, what if we wrap a tooth? So we wrapped the tooth and we put it on Facebook, and it just went crazy. Everybody wanted it. And so we started just selling it through Facebook Marketplace. And we were invited to Blue Moon gift shops because a lady there who had a shop wanted to carry Clay's book. And we went and we met with them, and I had my jewelry on, and a lot of the shops were asking, how can we carry your jewelry in our shop? And so Clay said, well, how can I get her a shop to carry her jewelry? And then it just blew up from there. And I will say, as far as the quality goes, we have grown in that. And we do offer a guarantee with any of our purchases. If the wrap ever becomes loose, if you lose a tooth, or we'll do what we can to make it right for you. Because a happy customer is a returning customer.
That's it. That's amazing. And was it difficult? Was it difficult being a new business owner with the pandemic? Was it hard to get supplies, or did you all have them on hand? Because I know everyone was going through, like, couldn't get stuff in. And
well, the good thing about that was we started out with a huge inventory. And the only thing as far as the shark teeth go, the only thing that we really needed was the wire, the jewelry wire, and we never ran into that. It was
awesome.
I mean, it's not like we have an assembly line of stuff going out. It was because we both work a full-time job. It was something that we were able to do after our normal jobs and on the weekends, and we never ran into anything like that. I do want to say one thing about Clay's book. You can purchase his book anywhere that books are sold. You can find it on Amazon. You can find it at Barnes and Noble, Books A Million. Anywhere books are sold, you can find his book and you can order it online. However, if you contact Clay or I, you can contact us through Facebook, how you would like to reach us. My phone number is actually on that business card that I gave you, and my email address. And I can make sure that you get an autographed copy, and you get one of the little shark record catch cards. And so for a bookmarker, so for an autographed copy, if that's something that you would be interested in, or any of your viewers would be, give us a call. We could put that special little note in there. There's no extra charge for it. It's just special to us that we can share our passion with others. That just blesses us. It truly does.
It does. And I mean, and all this was super cool, all this swag, right? And to have and it's really.
And I will say, other than Tom's teeth, Clay created all of that himself.
Wow.
He did all of that. And yeah, he put a lot of work into it, and it's very professional. It's very good quality. And so we're very proud to be able to offer this to our customers.
Well, I think that's amazing, and the best of luck. I hope and pray after this it blows up that you can't even keep anything in.
Yes, I know. Me too. Me too. And I don't want to steal the spotlight anymore. I'm going to let Clay get back in the hot seat.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you. Thank you.
If you all are in that area, please go check out the shop. The books is there as well. There's no excuse why you can't get swag, you can't get books, you can't pick up the all the wonderful things that they're producing there. And Clay, let me ask you this. What are some tips and advice to the shark enthusiast, right, that is listening to this? And let's say, like yourself, Jaws has caught their attention, right? And they're watching it maybe for the first time. they're now interested in, not in a crazy way, but interested in, oh man, shark bites. And how would a person get into this profession per se? What is the steps? What is their interest going to lead them into? What are they going to have to do to kind of be a part of like the global shark attack file, right?
Well, to make your living at studying sharks, of course, is going to take a lot of schooling. You're going to have to go through probably to the PhD level to get to a professional shark expert. Now, so a case like me, what I do is a volunteer. It's a volunteer work. It's now, if you're interested in something like that, you can contact the Shark Research Institute's Global Shark Attack File, and if they will ask you to send in some qualifications, some paperwork, and if you're approved, then you can begin working with the Institute and doing the investigations like I do, if that's something you're interested in. But working as a professional shark expert, of course, is a lot of competition in that. But the field is wide open now compared to the way it was back in the 90s. So,
wow.
Well, probably a lot more opportunity out there. So if you're fascinated with it, that's what you need to do to start focusing your college career towards the marine sciences.
So people are asking about, one more time, for the contact information about the gift shop. Okay, it's in the Blue Moon Gift Shops, 203 Racine Drive, number 102 in Wilmington. All right. It's the shop owner is his wife, Terry. Her number is 910-284-6629, Terry Creswell at yahoo.com. So I will post all the information when this video gets finished uploading here. That way you all will have that. And again, I think it was Monday through Saturday, 10 to 6, I believe. And Saturday was like 12 to 5.
Yes.
Okay.
12 to 5.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
And so again, stop by there and pick up the book, pick up all the merch that you can. And something else I would like to get into here is getting back kind of to the teeth. I know we kind of took a detour, but you have more teeth you'd like to show?
Well, these are modern teeth here. This is the bull shark. But look at the difference in the teeth. That's what's so interesting about fossil collecting. Now, these are modern teeth, but the fossil teeth will look pretty much identical to these. Of course, they'll be fossilized in whatever mineral that they fossilized in. But look at the difference. The upper tooth designed for shearing and cutting, and the lower tooth designed for pinning prey. So that's how the animal, when he finds something he wants to eat, that lower jaw protrudes out, pins the item it wants. The action of the jaw muscle and the action of the head sawing tears off flesh and sometimes bone. With a tiger shark, look at the difference here. Now, this animal has similar teeth in the upper jaw and the lower jaw. Now, you can imagine if this animal were to grab a prey and shake his head this way, shake his head that way, it acts like a saw. So he can saw off large portions of flesh, muscle, and bone in a single bite. So
wow. Teeth
Teeth are fascinating.
Yes, they
especially when you learn how these animals use these things to survive. But teeth marks on victims, that leaves clues to what species was involved. If such as, I don't know if you can see that well or not. You can see that these are cuts here on the top of the foot and the bottom of the foot. I don't know if you can see this or not, but you can see the there are pinhole looking marks at the
Yeah.
bottom of the foot, which is indicative the bottom teeth cause the pinprick looking injuries, where these cause the shearing injuries. So that was, you can use that along with the space in between the teeth. That determines the size of the animal. All of this is all part of the investigation. These are the things that we do. We generate a report. We gather pre-operative photos of wounds and send them to the institute and let the experts decide what animal could have been involved. And
Now-
studying these cases, the behavior of the animal, to me, this is what I'm focused on right now, is the behavior of the animal during the bite. That's telling us a lot. This next project I'm working on, I'm researching hundreds of bull shark cases, including many that I've investigated. And I'm seeing several different approach patterns, bite patterns, that when this information gets organized, I'm hoping it's going to be another interesting book with some information you may not have seen in literature before. So that's what I'm working on now.
Now, let me ask you this. Is there any information on the individuals that would have gotten bitten? Has their life changed in the sense of like infections or bacterias or diseases? Do we have any information on that?
There is information out there, not on the cases I've been involved in. I usually do a follow-up after an investigation to let the victim know what the institute has found out concerning what species was involved. But there are situations, there are problems with bacterial infections, with shark bites. It can be fatal even. So that is an ongoing, another area of study in terms of shark attack that is being addressed as the after effects of bacterial infections and things from the animal's mouth.
Wow. Wow. Now, what do we see a lot of? I know this day and age has great whites, we know, from Massachusetts on down to the Carolinas. Have they always been here the last 20, 30 years, or are they slowly moving due to the climate change onto this coast?
Yeah, white sharks have always been indigenous to the East Coast. They've just come to light in to the public's awareness in the past few years with OCEARCH's famous tagging program.
Mm-hmm.
Now you can track white sharks, and that gives you just a small peek into the larger window of white shark populations on the East Coast. But yeah, there are records in the book. You'll see records dating back to the 1800s of shark catches. There are shark attacks in the book that I can't exactly pin to a white shark, but if you compare, that's why you see other cases in the book, compare the behavior of a white shark sneak attack versus some of the cases in the Carolinas, you can pretty much conclude that a white shark is the one that made the attack on these victims.
Wow.
In some of the cases in the Carolinas. So
now what
white shark?
Sure, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say now, in the book too, I thought that was very interesting too. Compared to North and South Carolina, it appears that South Carolina has more quote unquote attacks. Is it just because it's more heavily populated with vacationers in South Carolina compared to North, or?
A number of things. Yeah, South Carolina beaches are more popular. That does contribute to the higher cases. Also, historical wise, there have been more cases uncovered in South Carolina than North Carolina. That's not to say that North Carolina doesn't have a lot more historical cases. They just haven't been uncovered yet. But the population, the number of people going to the beach, into the water versus South Carolina versus North Carolina, the numbers are higher in South Carolina. So that does contribute to the higher numbers of encounters.
Now we know that, again, we want to recap for the people that are coming back in again. As Clay has said earlier, we're not to tell you don't get in the water and it's a Cardinals. We're just saying use caution, watch what you wear. Okay, let's go here. I don't think we hit here, but this is common sense, Clay. Bleeding, you get cut, get nicked, we could say get out the water or don't get in at all if you have cuts or lacerations or even through a Band-Aid, right? So
Absolutely, that's not a good idea to enter the water if you're bleeding from a wound, even in a small amount. I have investigated cases where the victim did have an injury prior to entering the water, so it is a contributing factor to bites. It does increase your chances potentially if you are bleeding entering the water.
and I think too that when we look at, sorry, I'm just putting the number for the people that were asking for the number. But for the shop. So when we get out of the water and we really look at how large, because we see what is the horizon line, and when we're kids, we think, oh, this is the end of the ocean, right? Is there stuff out there? Here's a question I've been wanting to ask. We know this stuff has become extinct and so on, supposedly. Over the years, we know that we see these old sharks, 300-400 years old. Is there still the likelihood of having, let's just say, a megalodon in this day and time?
Well, I'm of the belief that never say never, but it would be highly unlikely that there's a megalodon alive today. There are some convincing arguments. There's a case, I forget what age it was, but of some people that work at sea who will swear to this day that they encountered something at least 100 feet long. It was a shark. You know, they wouldn't go back to sea which was their living. They wouldn't go back to sea for a few months after that encounter. But you know, in my opinion, no, there probably is no megalodon alive today, but never say never. I mean, we said the coelacanth fish was extinct, and well, fishermen in Japan brought one up in the net several years ago. So.
Oh, no, this isn't shark related, but you know, we had a time in the season where the giant squid. I haven't seen the giants. Are they extinct now, or are they still in the oceans, or?
Yeah, there are giant squid in the oceans today. Yeah, there have been evidence of the squid marks on some of the ships, and whales, of course, consume larger squid for prey. But yeah, those definitely exist today.
Now, do we still see a lot of attacks on whales and larger fish that are washing up now? I know it's tough to, you know, by the time you get feeder fish and you get different things, but are we still seeing larger attacks on whales and so on nowadays? Or have that kind of chilled out?
No, I haven't seen any attacks on what you're talking about with squids,
or like squids or whales or dolphins, or
I've seen you know, some injuries on whales, some photos of injuries of whales and things like that in the past, but I'm not aware of anything recent in terms of injuries to animals washing ashore or anything.
Wow. So let me do this again for the folks that we're talking about sharks in the shallows. Okay. And again, the picture, I know I'll get 100 comments, 100 messages about this. Yes, this is Terry's picture. This is his dusky jaws. All right. And they liked it so much that this became the cover, right? And he was telling me that before we started. So I think it's an amazing picture. And this is actually, as you said, Wrightsville Beach.
That is Wrightsville Beach, North Carolina, near Johnny Mercer's Pier. That's right.
Wow. And when we talk about teeth real quick, and it makes me think about this, it seems like if you're down by 2nd Avenue Pier and you're going up to what would be Cherry Grove or the Point, it seems like the color changes due to the settlement, you know, down by the stern wheel or the, you know, 2nd Avenue Pier, you have more black. You go up towards Cherry Grove, you get more whitish, more sandyish. is it truly, here's a good question too. Is it truly just because of the settlement can change in a couple miles? Or is it truly what is being pumped in that's changing the colors of the teeth that much?
It's the sediment that the tooth settled in. Whenever the animal lost the tooth was buried in whatever sediment was available at the time, and that impacts the color of the tooth. I actually have one that's blue. I have some powder blue teeth and some orange teeth. Very interesting. A lot of collectors, that's what they look for, the different rare colors of whatever sediment made the tooth turn that color. I've also had teeth, there are chemical reactions that can change the color of a tooth. For example, I had a black tiger shark tooth and put it in vinegar for a little too long and it turned blue. So there could be some chemical reactions you're seeing in the water that could change some of the teeth color, but most of the teeth, when they're lost, they have to be buried in whatever sediment that they settled in, and that's going to determine the color of the tooth.
Awesome. Awesome. And is there anything else? We'll kind of wrap it up here. I know he has a busy day today. Is there anything else, Clay, that you would kind of want to talk about real quick or show us to kind of maybe give a different light on, or maybe share something?
Well, I hope that the people that read the book, don't see a horror story within the pages. There are some extreme cases in the Carolinas and in other parts of the world that are mentioned in the book. However, they are extremely rare, and I use these examples to show comparisons on what particular species may have been involved in Carolina cases. The book's focused on North and South Carolina. That's what makes it unique. However, I do want to highlight that sharks are a essential animal in our environment, and I love the animals, and I wouldn't want to portray them in a negative way. So I hope people that read the book don't get a negative view on sharks, because there are some fatalities, but they are rare. You just have to be aware that when you enter the marine environment, there is the chance that you could be in contact with a small fish-biting animal, or you could have an animal that is designed to attack large prey at the surface at the same time you're in the water. There's always that chance, even though it's rare. So don't fear the water. Just use the book as an educational tool and enjoy the read.
Absolutely. And if you are in the Wilmington area, inside the Blue Moon Gift Shop, 203 Racine Drive, number 102, Wilmington. I will post this as well for the ones that are looking at asking whatever you need. I'm sure if the request is not too extreme, they could probably whip up something for you. But nevertheless, and now let me ask you this, Clay. Has the book been out a year yet? It's pretty new, isn't it?
It came out of June of 2021.
Wow.
So not quite a year yet. Yeah.
Awesome. Let's make it so. Let's make it that so he can't.
I've had requests for the book in Australia and some European countries already, directly from me. So we're happy about that. So the book is getting noticed in other countries as well. So that's great.
Absolutely. And I hope that all 20,000 of us. Absolutely.
I do want to mention, Terry reminded me that we do have these Megalodon teeth as well as other shark teeth for sale in our shop as well. If you're interested in purchasing something like that as a gift or for yourself, they come in this shadow box with a little blurb on the animal and where the teeth were found. These teeth all come off the shore of Wrightsville Beach, called Meg Ledge.
Wow.
So they're all Wrightsville Beach teeth that I have in the shop. So
and I already know
quite a few of them.
I already know people's going to ask, is that tooth for sale? I already know they're going to ask, is that tooth you just held up for sale?
That tooth is for sale.
Oh my God. Well,
it is for sale.
I might have to get first dibs on that one then. But nevertheless,
it's got the size of the tooth. This was 5.5 inches by 4 inches wide. This tooth is.
That's a beautiful tooth.
You don't have a price. It is $240. Yeah.
And our prices are reasonable.
Yeah, the prices are very
We
reasonable.
get them at a discount
So,
and we pass the savings along.
mhm.
Awesome. Well, you all check out the book, get the book, get the book, get the book. This is new to the market here. He's taking precious time out. Him and his wonderful wife, Terry, great people, awesome people. And you know, you all don't bombard them, give them time to respond back to you. You just heard they work, they're doing multiple things. And check out the global shark attack file, what he's doing, do a little bit of research on it. It's very cool. Nowadays, you can look up information as much as they were released to the public, obviously, and check out the Shark Shack. If you're in Wilmington, make the drive. North or South Carolina, make the drive. Georgia, Virginia, make the drive. So you're there at the beach, what, you're hour and a half from Myrtle, something like it, about an hour, about that.
That's
So
right. About an hour and a half. That's right.
about that. So you know, you all
About an hour and a half.
about that. And Wilmington is a very nice city. You got plenty of things to do. You got the ships up there, right? The Navy.
You got the battleship. That's right.
So
Mhm.
you know, check them out. Terry, Clay, thank you so much for this wonderful information. Hope we can do it again soon. I hope the book and all the merch you have sell out. And I know it's early here on the East Coast. Some people's on the West and different countries. So I'm sure when they watch this, I hope you all get bombarded, right? So nevertheless, thank you all so much. Check it out. Again, the Shark Shack. Check out the book, Sharks in the Shallows, Terry and Clay Creswell. Do you have an Instagram as well? If they want to know that information.
No. Mm-mm.
Unfortunately, no. We're working on getting a website up.
All right.
So, but Facebook is the main way to contact us, or our phone numbers,
Phone and email.
All
and
right.
email.
Well, you all, again, I will post this for everyone. Thank you so much, Terry. Thank you so much, Clay. This was wonderful. This is awesome. Hopefully do it again soon. Y'all have a great day.
Thank you, Charles. We appreciate the opportunity, and you have a great day as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much.